The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Death by cold or snow mass sounds unpleasant to me. You know what people have been talking about on the internet, Janelle Klein? What kind of death you are most afraid of?
Oh, man.
Is there one that comes to mind immediately, or do you have to think about it? Because for some people I know that's top of mind. They know exactly the answer.
Those are some dark people that you know.
Well, I think just the fear's that great.
I feel like drowning would be a bad way to go.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't like that. But I've heard people say it's peaceful.
That's not my biggest fear, definitely. I think
But
mine
I don't
would
know how
probably
they'd
be
know
burning.
that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mine would probably be being burnt alive.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, God.
They say it's a peaceful way to go, drowning.
But again, how do you know that? Who have you asked?
Who went on the record to state that?
I saw something once where they were talking about dying by drowning, and they said that you really wanted to, couldn't you just inhale water faster and die faster?
Well, I suppose you're trying to live.
I'm not understanding
is
the
there
question.
Like a part where you're like, oh gosh, I'm dying. So couldn't you speed it up instead of suffering? Because I feel like that's a lot of people's fear with drowning is that it goes on longer.
I have no idea about any of that kind of stuff. Drowning would be the first one that I would think of as well, Janelle Klein. But then when someone brings up burning, my God, I imagine the pain is beyond recognition.
Drowning was my first, dying alone and then somebody not finding your body for 6 weeks when the fluids drip onto the neighbor's place.
God.
The fluids.
That one sounds terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, drowning. Although the snow collapse, when we were kids, we used to love to build snow forts until my mom yelled at us once and said that kids die all the time from those things falling on you. So then it kind of killed that love. I worry about that.
I had a grandmother who would endlessly roll through the various ways we could die if we didn't behave ourselves.
Was it always don't sit in front of the TV too close?
That one she didn't bring up.
Oh, we got that all the time.
Well, there was a fear that it would affect your eyesight.
Yeah,
but
you're going to go blind.
You had someone tell you that sitting in front of the TV too close would kill you?
Yeah, because the TVs were so big and heavy back in the day that it would be on the most rickety table.
I
and then
see.
It would fall
Not from watching it, but it might fall on you. Yes. Well, see, in my day, Wapple, if you want to have a my day off, in my day, the big TVs weren't on a stand. They were just sitting smooth on the floor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen those.
He's seen them.
He's seen them.
They're out there.
So he can verify that is true.
I'd say more so than just drowning, to make it more specific. Going off a road in a car and then drowning that way. And then a shark gets you.
Oh, my God.
No.
And you're electrocuted.
You're just about to make your way out of the submerged car, and then a shark gets you.
You think you're free.
So close.
See, the ocean and things like that, I have zero interest in all of that, and that might go to my fear of drowning, but also I can't stand those effing sharks and octopus and all those stupid things that are totally unnecessary living in the ocean. Yes, Janelle?
I was going to say there's been a few stories in the news just lately about alligators taking people out.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a
Okay,
rough
so
one.
animal attack.
Yeah, I think the latest was a woman fell in a pond and then the alligators came and got her.
See?
And don't they
sucks.
drown you?
Yes.
They barrel roll you.
Yes.
Okay, so I started off with drowning, and then Josh led my attention to burning, and now I'm most afraid of an animal attack. If we are talking about what kind of death we're most afraid of, 6-8. No, that's 10 days in a row I've done that. 651-989-9393 if you want to play. What kind of death you're most afraid of. Start your message with the name of the member of our show that you'd like to address.
Oh, biggest wrestling fan, Jesus said, what about getting crushed to death?
That's
like a python wrapping you up.
That's part of mine. Mine's weird because I'm weird.
Okay, let's hear yours.
So it would be like falling.
And yes, you are weird.
It'd be like falling into gears. So say a car. So let's say like a clock tower.
Okay.
Okay, grinded up by gears, starting at your feet, and it slowly rolls. Okay.
That is so specific.
It also adds my fear of height because, you'd be up way up high.
Yeah, you don't like heights.
I don't like that.
What movie did you see this in that caused this very specific fear of yours,
I
Wobble?
have no idea, but I think it could have been Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
Just seeing all the gears and stuff. But it'd be like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
On the bright side, that probably won't be happening to you. So
Why will that probably not happen to
because
him?
how many times does wobble around like a huge set of gears, like up in a clock tower or something?
Well, all it takes is once, Ashley.
Someone's going to kidnap me, take me up to a clock tower.
A clock tower. I can't even think of where there is one. Maybe like City Hall at Minneapolis. Like that's the only one I can.
I can just picture the one in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm starting to think that animal attack would be the worst.
That's like my preferred way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. I forget. Did we settle on an animal?
Lion.
A lion?
I mean,
Lion would
maybe
be
I get
ideal.
lucky and the elephant, just strikes me in the cranium and I'm dead on the, before I even know it. But what if it's a long-lasting? I've seen the Revenant.
Yeah, like
Boy, that bear.
What if it's a long-lasting thing? They toy with me. They crack my ribs. They bite off a foot. They taunt me with the foot.
That's what I was going to say about the lion, because cats kind of like to play with the prey a little bit before
Right.
they
Yeah.
eat it.
Right.
So I think lions might be on that,
God
too.
dang.
What about this, Wapple? And these are coming in so fast, I already I
these are
couldn't tell
flying in.
who said it. Getting sucked into an escalator.
Gosh.
Or like getting sucked into the giant propellers on ships.
Ah.
Like a
Okay.
cruise ship.
Sucked into an escalator?
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end or at the top of an escalator.
Oh, your pants get caught, and
Yes.
there are people who have a real fear of
I've
that.
read stories of like people getting their hair caught in there.
Ow.
That's scary.
What the hell are you doing? Why is your hair
I
down
don't
by
know,
the
I'm
steps
guessing
of the
that
escalator?
They fell at one point.
And what's
Or-
Wapple doing in a clock tower?
Yeah. Why am I still
Where
here?
the hell's this clock tower?
Get me out of here.
Being buried alive so far is the number one answer.
All right.
Via text message.
Yep.
here.
Okay, that sounds terrible. I saw a movie once where a dude was in a casket and he couldn't get out, buried alive.
What about eaten by piranhas?
Well, that falls under animal attack.
Yeah, that'd be slow, I feel like.
I don't know. They
I
look-
feel like I don't know. In some of the movies I've watched, they do it pretty fast.
Yeah, it seems like they get the job done pretty
Have you
quick.
guys all seen the documentary Piranha Double D?
no.
Yes.
A lot of people are bringing up the wood chipper from Fargo.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Son
That's
of a
terrible when
bitch.
you read stories like that in real life. Ooh, boy.
If you went head first, it wouldn't be that bad.
No.
How do you know? Try it.
Yeah,
Death
what if-
by flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh.
Or getting eaten alive by bugs.
Bugs.
Falling into acid. Ooh-wee.
There were people who mentioned bees online. Death by bees. And folks took some other interesting routes when discussing what kind of death they're most afraid of. Somebody said dying on the toilet.
Yeah. Parents
So-
gotta find you. Or
Somebody's
your
got to find you.
family has to find you in that position.
They say so undignified.
A lot of people go out that way.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. What about would be worse the autoerotic asphyxiation?
Oh,
The
that's
old-
tough.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of that Robin Williams
Yes,
movie.
I saw that movie.
That's such a
actually.
dark movie.
That is a dark movie.
What movie's that?
No clue.
World's Greatest Dad or something?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, his son. He's a writer, and he's not going through a slump, right? Robin Williams. His son, who's a complete jerk to him, by the way, and most people don't like the son. He kind of makes him a hero afterwards. He doesn't tell anybody how he died, with the hanging whack there. Yeah, you're right. That was a dark movie.
And I was not prepared because I didn't know what the movie was about, but I was like, oh, well, Robin Williams. It's going to be
Does he
probably
dress up
funny.
like a nanny in this one too?
Yeah, nope, very dark.
Yeah, World's Greatest Dad.
It's on Hulu if anybody wants to check it out.
Janelle, do you have any comments on autoerotic asphyxiation?
None.
Know anybody who's passed away that way or
No.
sung its praise?
No.
Nothing like that?
You done a story on it?
Never have. Never have.
I mean, what a horrible thing, but I don't think it's comparable to animal attacks, drowning, burning. Because I imagine you get a real hardcore moment of pleasure, and then you just kind of go night-night.
Yeah, I think it's the the idea of your family finding you.
Sure.
Like they said on this toilet.
I'm sorry. That's where I lost my way.
Yeah, Blood Eagle would suck, too.
Oh, yeah, a couple people text in.
I didn't understand what he said.
Blood Eagle.
Blood Eagle.
Yeah.
What is that again?
Oh, yes.
They cut you down your back, and then they pull out your lungs, and then they rest them on your shoulders.
Stop that. Stop it.
Whoa. What do you mean they?
Well, in the television show that he watches.
Supposedly the Vikings may have done that.
Yeah, that might be true.
And apparently you don't die. I mean,
What?
You can live through that for I don't know how long.
Well, that's what where the Blood Eagle part comes from, because your lungs would still be breathing, so it looks like their wings flying and flapping. And it's supposed to be an undignified death if you like scream when it's being performed on you.
This
is according to the television show Vikings.
Well, it's based on some truth, supposedly. Yeah.
It sounds like a Greek mythology torture situation.
Yeah, I don't know how you come up with that, but you do give it a really cool nickname. I gotta say, that would be terrible.
Here's an individual who says the kind of death you're most afraid of, being one of those cavers, like someone who
Splunker.
What is it?
Splunker.
Is that
Spelunker? Yeah, it's like a cave explorer.
Yeah.
Okay, cave explorer. I'm going to go with, and you get stuck, can't get out. You just lay there and die. Starve to death, dehydrate yourself, whatever. You're stuck. There is no amount of money that would ever get me to do something like that. Hey, let's go down into the caves and explore the ancient what? Absolutely not.
I was just reading about that famous guy that got... Was that me and you, Apple, talking about that? The guy that got stuck doing exactly that, and the rescuers came, but it was too small of a cave for them to even save him. They would have had to break his bones.
Yeah, but that movie was really good about the soccer team that got in the cave.
I was just gonna say that.
It was.
And it took them 6 hours to get out the cave, and they had to dive them out.
See, the thing is, if I ever went cave diving or whatever the hell you call it, there would be no rescuers because that's so dorky. I would never tell anyone I was going. You know what I'm saying?
That's just it.
No one would know I was down there.
They were just on a hike, and then all of a sudden the water levels came up and flooded, and then they were trapped in these chambers.
I didn't know there was a movie about that.
Wapple watches all the weirdest movies and then tells us about it on the radio. He watches all the darkest stuff.
That was a really good movie.
What was it called?
I can't remember.
It was on Amazon.
Yeah.
Was that not too long ago?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah, okay.
Like a year ago?
I think
feel
I've
like
seen
it was during the pandemic. And remember, it was like you said, the water kept coming up and they knew they didn't have much time.
It's called 13 Lives. It's directed by Ron Howard.
That's the one, okay.
Very good.
Ron Howard, huh?
What about getting sucked into an airplane engine?
Oh!
Oof. Ooh-wee.
The topic today, because it exploded on, I guess, social media, what kind of death are you most afraid of? And you started off by saying drowning, Janelle, but we've covered animal attacks, burning, and all kinds of horrible medieval torture that Wapple and Josh have seen on television. Do you have a new answer?
Well, that's it. I was going to say, I was, saying I haven't given this a lot of thought. So drowning was the first thing that came to mind. And now you've planted all these bizarre ideas in my head.
You're going to have some nightmares.
Yeah. This is what I'm going to think about at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep.
People don't die by death eagle much anymore. I wonder when the last official case of death eagle dying it's been.
I know we were trying our best to keep up with text messages from the mighty brother and sisterhood. I saw you working your ass over there, Josh. What are our listeners saying about the death they're most afraid of?
Well, plenty of people being afraid of being buried alive in various ways. A little tweak on that. This person says, freaks me out the thought of waking up in a coffin while still alive after you're buried.
Oh, dude, that happened. Remember that kid?
Oh, yeah, where his buddies pranked him. Yeah.
He was super out of it.
Yeah, and he was looking like, what did I do?
It's one of the greatest stories Josh has ever told in his news report from maybe a year ago?
Yeah, if even. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't the kid? He was like a 19, 20-year-old kid. He's at a concert festival.
Yep.
He woke up, he gets hammered and has a good time. He wakes up in a coffin, buried.
Like 2 miles away or something like that. And it was like some buddies or other concert goers messing with him.
No.
I don't remember. How did he get out of there alive?
I don't know. Yeah, somebody heard him maybe.
I think he dug himself out, did he not?
He got out somehow. I can't remember exactly.
Wouldn't you suffocate? Like, was it closed and like buried underground?
He must not have been there very long, obviously.
Oh my God.
But the best part of the story, and you did such a wonderful job in describing this, there was a picture of this kid right as he came out the earth. As he escaped, someone took a picture of him.
Covered in dirt.
He's absolutely caked in mud and dirt. And I'll never forget the way you said this, Josh, because it was 100% accurate. The kid had a look on his face that led you to believe he was saying, hey, not cool, bros. Not cool.
So along with buried alive, somebody says, imagine being married alive. Yes, for some people, that can be scary. Skydiving when the parachute doesn't open.
Oh, God.
Getting mauled by the cocaine bear.
Oh, yeah. A lot of folks have been mentioning, maybe they work for the movie company. A lot of folks have been mentioning Cocaine Bear. Are you familiar with that, Janelle?
Not really.
There's a movie coming out called Cocaine Bear. It's going to be awful, but it's about a bear who snorts cocaine and then kills everyone in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's common, honestly. Being sucked out of an airplane window. Skinned alive. Ooh.
Anything airplane related sounds pretty bad to me.
Getting your innards sucked out at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, no.
Heard horror stories.
Oh, no. You put your back door up against that pool thing. And
radiation poisoning. Yeah, that seems bad. Falling into the cow manure vats on a cattle farm.
Oh, I did that once.
And then drowning if you don't pass out from the methane gas first.
Yeah, I fell into
that's dangerous.
Up to my armpits in liquefied cow manure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was a thing until you told that story.
Yeah, people pass from that, sadly.
Yeah, my brother and my dad, they laughed themselves sideways. And I don't blame them. I fell into a massive pond of liquefied cow manure.
Oh, my God.
Some of the people texting things they'd just be embarrassed to die by, or not necessarily a fear, but just the embarrassment. This person says, I'd hate getting killed in a fist fight when I know I could beat the guy's ass, but he gets one lucky punch. You'd want a do-over. I could have beat him under normal circumstances.
Another one on that level, Josh, of being embarrassed. Is that how you put it?
Yeah.
California native Jesus says, dying with a prostitute. My wife would kill me.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Bring you back to life and then kill you.
I know somebody who died with a prostitute. I really do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
By murder or
No.
heart attack or something?
Yeah, something dropped him with a prostitute. Yeah, the plane crash thing. You know it's coming. You can't get out of it. Oh, that'd be horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I was convinced I was going to die in a plane crash. You guys know the Ireland story when I was flying to Ireland, where I was convinced, and I wasn't the only one on the airplane, that we were about to die. Everybody was screaming. People were telling each other that they loved them, hugging, crying as we were attempting to land in Ireland. And I guess I got a glimpse into, at least then, how I would deal with it. I got angry. I was furious, screaming F-bombs at the pilots and the airplane staff. So it wasn't a, oh God, crying. I got furious because I thought, how could you do this to me?
Drawn and quartered people are texting in as well.
There's one real obvious one that I can't believe we haven't mentioned yet. And everyone knows the story. Everyone knows the story. The most brutal death. The death we should all be most afraid of is death by bunga bunga.
You know what? That one has come in via text, and there's another one I was afraid to say in case it's very dirty. There's another one that people are texting in.
Dying at work.
Oh, yeah. We've mentioned that before. Drag me across the threshold to the outside. Don't want to die here.
Just right in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm fine. Parking lot, okay.
He died here, I swear.
Pooping yourself to death, says a listener.
I think it can happen.
I feel like people would talk about that for years after you died. Maybe that's not so bad.
Yeah, what happened to old Nick? Oh, you didn't hear?
That's himself to death.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The football season is underway, and Believe podcasts are talking about it.
When he went home and went to sleep, Michael Parsons was terrorizing him.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
And to be only producing 15 points a game, that's something that is definitely disheartening.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
As a quarterback, I would expect him to be acting like that. Take the accountability. Put that on yourself. Don't put it on your teammates.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
I ran into some fun stories about computer whack-off sessions that went sideways.
They can do that sometimes.
You guys still sit up to the computer and masturbate quite often?
No. It's more of a phone situation.
Yeah, I guess I don't really dial up on or pull it up on the laptop all that often anymore.
I worry about viruses. If I don't really watch porn, but I mean, that's what when I've got friends that'll just sit there. Like a buddy of mine he's got his own business and he's got this computer that he uses for work and masturbation. And I always think, like, aren't you worried that you're going to get some sort of virus or hacked while whacking it or something?
You know who touches themselves to porn all the time?
Who's that?
Password managers. That's just all they do all day. All day.
My boyfriend got a new an iPad through work yesterday to make his job easier. And the first night I said, I was like, oh, that's good for porn.
Oh, an iPad? Sure, yeah. There you go. Bigger screen than your phone.
Yeah,
he
definitely
refuses to use his work things for it, though. It's lame.
Oh, what a coward.
He refuses to use his work what?
His work, computer or iPad that he has now for porn.
For porn.
It's lame.
That would be tough to bring that to the IT guy and be like,
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You might want to rub it down with the Clorox wipe before you start typing on it, but...
So what I ran into here, just your classic getting caught masturbating type stories, but since we were on the topic of computers, a couple of these. Here's a kid, family computer was in the front room after school. Parents were in their room. And he says, I figured a quick stroke to relieve some teenage angst was in order.
We've all been there.
My mom came out unexpectedly, and I tried to shut it down and pull my pants up in one motion. The computer was old and slow, so it took a second for the page to close, so she definitely saw what I was watching for a brief second. I got a personal laptop for Christmas.
Win-win.
They didn't want to deal with that anymore.
No.
God dang. Josh, is that one of those parenting moments where you say to yourself, welcome to the big leagues, when you catch a child touching themselves?
Thank God never experienced something like that.
That's my child. A few years ago, he was, playing t-ball and and watching the Muppet Show and things like that. Now look at, come on with that.
I did have to tell my wife, you're going to have to be a little more careful about opening doors and, that kind of stuff. Just got to watch out for something like that.
You guys know the story of my two buddies sitting around. We were drinking beer after a beer league hockey game, and the older guy says to the younger guy, what I mean by younger guys, 27, 28, 9, 30, whatever. The older guy was 50. And the older guy says, what's going on, to the younger guy? And he says, well, my oldest daughter just had her first period. And the older guy says, welcome to the big leagues. What else happened to these people with computers? Okay, maybe you guys remember this kind of stuff. Dial-up internet.
The worst.
Okay, what was so bad about it?
At the time, it wasn't, though. Yeah, at the time, it's incredible,
right,
the
but
technology.
Looking back now, how spoiled we are now. You look back and you think about trying to get it to connect and you hear the sound like...
It didn't sound like that at all, for the record.
What the hell was that? Dial-up internet, okay. So I think I remember something or another about this. You just... Oh, okay, you had to unplug the phone, right?
Yeah, that's the sound I made.
Yeah.
You unplug the phone and plug the phone cord into the computer. Isn't that how it worked?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then didn't you have to have a disc, a CD, like from AOL or something like that. You had to put in the computer.
Yep.
Jesus. And it would take forever.
Yes.
That was the pain?
It was a process, yeah.
This story talks about dial-up internet. There were extra charges for adult websites. Anyone remember how you got around that?
No, I never really looked at porn when back in the dial-up internet days.
Oh, you did? Oh, you were too young for that, or you were too afraid, or what?
I also think like on AOL, my parents had some type of like parental restrictions or something. It blocked websites and that kind of thing too.
Wappa, was that your situation? All three of you over there, the young people?
No. Yep.
What?
No, I got on.
And so how did you explain the charges? It says here extra charges for...
I never saw any extra charges. And my parents never even said, hey, what's this website we're paying for?
All right. Well, maybe they just didn't want to embarrass you.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
You're racking their credit card up.
So it says here, extra charges for adult websites. Here's a kid or a guy. He's a guy now. He was a kid. When he was 13, he racked up $500 in porno charges. And he had to explain that to his mama.
That's tough.
That probably wouldn't take as long as you think, I'd imagine. I mean, I don't know what a Pornhub subscription costs or anything like that, but I'd imagine you could probably rack up some charges pretty quick. But if you want to masturbate, maybe it's worth it. Right afterwards, you probably feel some shame and regret.
Yeah.
I will pay anything for an orgasm right now. Anything.
All right, now I don't want to pay anything.
I said some things. And I made some choices.
Caught whacking it at the family computer at age 13 by my stepdad. This is a young fella. Got caught by my stepdad. His reaction was to get super angry. He unplugged the computer and he called the real dad.
See, as a stepdad, I don't think I'd want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Oh, a 13-year-old kid was whacking it. Like, what a shock.
All right.
I have a feeling if I were a real dad, I would be pretty disconnected from my children's lives. I would be a terrible parent. If I were a stepdad, Christ, I don't even know if I'd care what their names are. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
That's just a comment on myself. I'm just saying I would be a terrible parent. As a real dad, as a stepdad, my God, I would just... So here's a kid caught by his stepdad. His stepdad got pissed, called the real dad. At one point, stepdad passes the kid the phone, and he hears his dad say, I told him to leave you alone. From now on, whack off in your own room.
It's a great fatherly advice.
Yeah, so back to the same buddy who uses his work computer to masturbate. He just does it like in the living room, you know? I don't get that.
Who does it in the living room?
A friend of mine. Like he'll just, when nobody, you know, when people are in other parts of the house, I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I'm like,
He's got kids running around?
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking everyone was gone when you said that he'd do it in the living room.
Oh, no.
But no,
not
they're
at all.
Right downstairs.
No.
Right down the hall.
Ballsy move.
And he's never been caught by a kid running around the car? How old are the kid? Would they know what he's doing if they round it?
Yeah, at least one of them would.
What the hell's the matter with this guy? Is he
I
some
don't
kind
know.
of sick exhibitionist or something?
He's horny. I mean, you know, growing up in the commune like I did, where there's people everywhere, you found a bathroom. That's pretty much your only place. If you share a room with your brother and your cousin and things like that, you don't have a lot of places to go.
Well, I've told you before about the gal who used to work here. She used to tell me stories about her younger brother. So she was probably only 20 or something like that. She still lived with her folks. A lot of folks in radio still have to live with their parents. So she's only about 20, and she had like a 15-year-old brother. And they had one family computer. This is 20-some years ago. And her younger brother would constantly drop his pants and underwears and go at it in front of the family computer. And when people would, whether it be her or the folks, when they'd walk in on him, he was defiant about it. Like they were like they were stepping on his personal space, and it was
like it was their fault that they caught him. Yeah.
Well, it was just I don't know about fault, but he reacted with defiance and anger, as if, hey, get out of here.
Trying to whack it over here.
And I remember saying to her, hey, it's not my business, but you might want to have this kid talk to somebody. That's really not a normal reaction.
No, not at all. I liked on this list, there was the kid that got caught watching Girls Gone Wild by his dad, who took the DVD and said he was going to break it, and he was sure his dad actually has whacked off to it many, many times.
Definitely.
I wouldn't want to masturbate to the same thing my dad is.
I'm confiscating this from you, and I'm going to break it because you shouldn't have this. It's going to my personal collection.
Well, here's a young lady. When she was in college, had a couple of roommates. She had a long-distance relationship going with her boyfriend, and she was having FaceTime sex. Anybody tried it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think
like
of
pandemic?
Yeah,
During the
no,
pandemic?
just I had my booth and went to Ireland for 2 weeks, so had to make something happen.
Okay,
it's pretty
Ashley,
cool.
before you get into the conversation, I hope you know that for the rest of this morning, you're not allowed to say boo thin.
Okay, deal.
Once a show.
Deal.
Once a show. I can only stomach that once a show. He was in Ireland, and go ahead.
Yeah, and so used like the little FaceTime thing. It was cool, I guess.
The camera's pointed at you. You're wailing upon yourself. And he's got a camera pointed on him, and he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah.
I was always afraid to do it because I don't even like to like regularly FaceTime people. It just makes me uncomfortable. But I was like, I'll give it a try. Turns out, it's pretty cool.
This gal,
So that's the one and only, or you've decided to make that a regular?
We've done it a couple times.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
I know you couldn't.
I don't think I could.
I know you couldn't. I'm in.
I know Wapple couldn't because I've asked him if he wanted to, and he said no.
You said you wouldn't tell.
I'll do it with a wrong number.
Whoop, sorry.
You really could?
What are you up to?
It is a little odd, like afterwards.
Hey, wrong number, but what? You got a few minutes? What are you doing?
That's a good point, Ashley.
What's that?
Yeah, what do you say afterwards? Well, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, good game. So, how was your day?
You don't have to say anything afterwards.
You say, hey, I'm going to go make a sandwich. I'll see you later.
You just hang up?
Yeah.
It's like that South Park episode, dude masturbating, when they're going through the...
was it Snapchat
roulette?
Yeah. Chat roulette.
Yeah. Chat roulette.
I mean, do you remember saying anything afterwards, Ashley? First time you had FaceTime sex, did you say... hey, it's not my business, but you might want to get a rag or a towel out?
We just continued the conversation.
Dude just
all right.
cleaned himself up. You cleaned yourself up, and then it was like, so, what are you going to have for dinner?
Yeah, usually get off FaceTime, though, and go back to, a normal conversation on the phone.
Sure.
So you don't have to see each other's faces.
I wouldn't worry too much about the post conversation. I mean, just whatever. I'm not trying to be cute with this, but whatever comes up.
I'll tell you what, that's all I'm thinking about now. I've forgotten about the uncomfortableness with the rest of it, but... So do you got to time it out like you would normal sex? Where you try and make sure the other person's satisfied before you are?
Oh, you try to both go at the same time, absolutely.
So how do you do that virtually? Same cues you might pick up when you're together?
Yeah,
or do you give a countdown you can just add to the screen?
Being a woman, it's kind of like you get yourself to the edge and then you just wait for them because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know, men are more or not as difficult. So
yeah, good news for my wife. She wouldn't have to wait long. That's for sure.
You get the phone bill here. We had a 9-second FaceTime conversation. You could do it, Cubby.
I don't think so.
Well, here's what
let's say my wife was gone for a long time, maybe I could.
Or forever. You can find a new girlfriend. I know what you're saying, Smashley.
Yeah.
Didn't you ever have phone sex, Josh?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was where where are you at? Well, I'm getting there. All right, well, I'm ready.
That's pretty cool.
Talk like Ashley was saying, to try to time it out. How much more time do you need? I don't know. Minute or so.
I bet if I was like late teens, early 20s, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, you would.
Be more adventurous.
Yeah, we didn't have anything like that back in the day.
You put a filter on your face during or something.
Oh. Hey, all of a sudden.
Snapchat filters where you have like a clown mask on your face. You're crying. The crying filter.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ray Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, like, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was just doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
What am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do?
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen. The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks.
Speaking of dog-related gigs here on Bring Your Dog to Work Day, I was reading about some different kind of jobs that you might not have heard about. A dog food taster. A dog food taster. And they don't hire a dog, they hire a human being, apparently. Dog food taster.
Well, how else would you know it's a porterhouse over a filet mignon?
Good question.
You have to eat it.
What the hell are you talking about?
Dog food.
What about dog food? What does that have to do with a porterhouse and a filet mignon?
You know how they put the label of a porterhouse or a filet mignon, so you have to taste them, see which one's which, so you can put the label on.
Yeah, that's true, because it's not like the dog is like, oh, yeah, that tastes like steak.
That's totally a porterhouse.
This is chicken, you liar.
A dog food tester's responsibility is to sit and taste new dog food products.
Barf.
God dang. You have to put dog bones in your mouth. They list bones as one of the... You got to sit there and suck on a bone. You're a human being, for Christ's sake.
I've tried some dog food. Have you guys tried a pupperoni? Oh, actually, I've seen you do it. Yeah, Wapple, I've seen you do it.
Yeah, we were trying the best dog treats.
Yeah, Beggin' strips.
Yeah,
tried those.
Yeah, those were not where it was at.
Yeah, they smell so good, but they taste so bad.
Yeah, it's false advertising.
Yeah.
Decades
peanut butter
ago,
cookies, though.
Decades ago, I took a bite out of a pupperoni, and it didn't have the same effect on me that it has on the dogs in the television commercials. It was rough.
But those peanut butter dog treats that you can get at Cub, those taste really good.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Have you had canned dog food?
No.
Slimy stuff.
Oh, no.
I tried it. I thought it looked kind of good.
What?
It's not good at all.
Dude.
The Mall of America used to, well, maybe it's still there. I guess I don't remember seeing it in a while. But they had a kiosk that was like the world's fanciest bakery for dog treats.
Ooh.
And when my stepdaughter was real little, I thought I'd prank her with one. You know, we have prank wars, so I got one. And it's like, oh, would you like a delicious, just normal human cookie?
It was a cookie, okay.
And so she was maybe 7, and she bit into it and immediately realized it wasn't a normal cookie. And I'm like, ha, 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 it's a dog treat. And out of spite, she ate the whole thing.
Oh.
All right, F you, old man.
But when did you taste canned dog food? You just put
this was high school.
Yeah?
We were just kind of running through some dares. But I did mix in the film on top, you know.
The
whatever that sauce is on
gravy.
Oh, my gosh,
Yeah.
make my stomach hurt.
Yeah, like the gluten, or the gluttonous part.
Just
whatever.
the thick snag on the top of that.
It's like a gravy.
Yeah.
Tattooed Mike Jesus has a German Shepherd trained for his epilepsy. It is crazy. I've got a dog story coming up in the news today, but it is crazy how some of these dogs that can smell cancer, or they can, like anxiety dogs that can help you out.
That is unbelievable.
My dog can, my dog Widow, she can tell if I'm like stressed out or like I'm gonna cry, something like that.
Oh yeah, dogs can sense that thing.
It's just like the tone of my voice, and she'll come up and just like lay on my chest and try to distract me.
So does Minnow, my cat.
Dude,
oh,
cool.
She loves doing that.
So if you're a dog food tester, like I said, you're going to have to sit there and taste dog bones, taste the canned meat, the canned food, like Josh was just saying. Jesus, do they... I mean, I don't know anything about this kind of thing, but would they have some kind of super health insurance? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's funny. Is that relatively new within the last few years, pet insurance?
Pet insurance.
I don't know.
I've heard of it, but I don't know if I
know a couple people who have had it, and they one person has never used it. The other person said it basically saved them from declaring bankruptcy.
That's what my girlfriend did. She's done it now twice on her dogs, and one of them she got a huge discounts on diabetes medication and stuff for the dogs.
Really?
Yep.
Bubba Man Jesus said, my daughter dog sits for people in their homes. She makes enough money to where she quit her regular job. Dog and cat owners will pay quite a bit of money. Well, yeah, it's a big business, right? I mean, for some of these companies.
Yeah, if I ever had to pay somebody to watch my dogs, I would definitely overpay them.
More anxiety than hair, Jesus said, Wapple's mom likes to taste bones, Dana said.
Dana? Dude.
He's not even here.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
don't think I could handle the gig, dog food taster. You test for flavor and texture in comparison to rival dog food brands and human food. You have to sit there and compare these different dog foods to human food. There's no comparison.
No.
Every day I'd say, the human food, pretty good. Dog food, sucks eggs.
I've seen some of those dog walkers. Well, they'll get like 7, 8 dogs walking around.
That's impressive. That's too much. I'd get way overstimulated.
A few people are texting in saying, didn't I almost get killed over a can of dog food? I don't want to tell that story again, but the answer is yes. Thank you for listening for all this time, that you still remember the story of me almost being murdered on the streets of Minneapolis over a can of dog food, but...
When Shiza said, I dropped almost $1,000 on my dog in the month of June. Allergies. He has a dermatologist, even. Shout out to McKeever Dermatology, she said.
The vet bills are crazy. If you have to treat your dog for something special, yeah, it's wildly expensive. But
I ran up some credit card debt to save a couple of cats. My girlfriend at the time had a couple of cats, and they ate some stoppers. Like door, like a door stopper.
Sure, the
little rubber end to the springy deal.
A cat ate one of those?
2 of them. 2 cats ate them, and they both had to have surgery. To remove them, and that was not cheap.
Nope.
I think that took me about 2 years to pay off.
Interesting. It is very, very expensive to just own a dog, feed it. Cats too. Feed it, keep it healthy. And then if you find yourself in a situation where you need to save its life, that price skyrockets, but more often than not, it's worth it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
if you can, that's the tough part. If you can't afford it, that's got to be pretty miserable. And I could see why. Some of those, like, I forgot which one of you said it, but you're right. Some of those vet bills are insane.
They didn't make me pay him a dime over at the veterinarian when they killed my dog and then brought it back to life.
Oof.
They didn't charge me for that.
Good.
That was one of the most fascinating hours of my life.
Oh gosh, I'd be walking in there ready to break necks.
Well, come on now, you wouldn't, because
if they killed my dog, absolutely, I would not
understand
leave without
the situation.
Screaming.
Well, the dog was 17 or 18 years old. All right, and it was an honest mistake.
You did yell at him though, didn't you? Or is that a different dog?
No, that was when Megan Marie got put to sleep. I yelled at the vet because she put when we were putting Megan Marie down, the best girl in the whole world. And when they put the needle in her, she whined. And I'd never heard Megan Marie in pain before. And I hated that because she was the best girl in the whole world. And I flipped out at the vet. And it wasn't the real deal night-night shot. It was the setup shot. You following how that works?
Yep.
So they're like, well, here's just a sedative. And they put the needle in her, and she went, oh, right?
Oh.
And I flipped out. This is 25 years ago. You dumb son of a bitch. You hurt my dog. I flipped out. I felt like a complete prick, later. Because it was an honest mistake. But the story of my dog dying and then coming back to life, I didn't flip out. Because this dog was blind, deaf. He didn't know who the hell he was anymore. We went in for some... Well, number one, it was partially my fault. They sent me some email saying your dog is due for some shots. What I should have said was, this damn thing's 17 years old. He's due for nothing other than death.
True.
But I just was, on cruise control like we get. Oh, here's my dog. Give it whatever shots it needs. It was stupid on my part. I should have said, this thing doesn't need any shots. Look at him.
That's got to be tough to... Well, I've never seen that.
Dude, it was crazy.
I mean, our dog, the dogs that we've had just died at home, of old age.
Right.
And except for one, which was tragic, and it was a surprise. We had to bring her we came home from, this was right before day before the world shut down for the pandemic. And I think we were at the car show, and we come home, and she's acting really weird, and she's usually real hyper, especially when you come home, and she's acting weird. And so, the kid's at home, so my wife's like, I'll just bring her to the vet just to be safe. And then they had to put her down. She had something called bloat. Her stomach flipped up, and she was an old dog. And
that stuff happens so often.
Yeah, I was shocked, and I was miserable that I didn't go with. My wife was bawling after she called me. She's like, what do we do? Because the vet's like, we could do a surgery, but she's not going to survive, and it's just going to torture her, really.
I know so many people whose dogs have died in that same fashion where their stomach just kind of goes weepity deep, and that's the end of that.
And I didn't even get to say goodbye. I mean, I thought, well, she'll be back tonight and she'll be fine. And then to add to it, my wife's brakes went out on her way home at 2 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went out.
Someone's looking to kill our entire family.
Yeah.
I almost lost both my bitches in the same night.
Oh. So back to this situation where the dog died in my arms. So I turned him in to get these shots, and it was dumb. Like I said, I should have turned it down in the first place. And, whatever. How that stuff goes. 10 minutes go by, and they bring me back the little dog, the Ozman. Was his name. And he's a little dachshund, so I'm carrying him like a football, and I'm walking up to the desk to pay. And as I'm paying for these shots, all of a sudden, it felt like I had a wet towel over my forearm. And he was just, wow. Eyes rolled up in the back of the head. And I remember looking at the, the receptionist, and I pointed at the dog, and I said, this doesn't look right. And she shot out of her chair.
Oh, no.
And she ran to get the vet who had just treated the dog. And he comes out, and he sees this wet rag with a tongue and a tail and grabs him from me, and they go racing into the back. And honestly, Ashley, because of his age, I didn't really barely react at all. I just kind of told myself, well, that's the end of that one. I really did, because if it would have been a 2-year-old dog, it would have been totally different. But this dog was older than the hills. So, I don't know, another 10 minutes go by, and here comes the vet, and he is shaking, and he has tears in his eyes, and he says, I'm so sorry. I gave him a shot that I shouldn't have, but I've just given him a shot of adrenaline to his chest, and it looks like he's responding. I think he's going to be okay. And they said, we might want to hang on to him for a couple hours. I said, yeah, go ahead. Give me a call when everything's all right. A couple hours later, they called me. I took him home. He acted like nothing happened.
He was completely fine?
20 minutes later, he died. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
He lived another, maybe lived another year and a half. Or he was 19 stinking years old.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That was one adventure that I'll never forget.
I was just thinking, it's amazing how long he lived.
Oh, damn.
And it's because he consumed the blood of the young. That's got him when he ate my stepdaughter's face.
Oh, it was the blood of the young.
I think that must be it. That's what kept him so young so long.
He did try to eat an 11-year-old. How old was she? 9, 10, 11?
So this would have been 2000. Again, the math on this show can be difficult.
It's brutal.
This was 2008, and she's 21 now. So what does that mean?
Oh, damn. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
You heard us try. If you were listening yesterday,
I'm not
you heard
even
us
going to try.
Yeah, you heard us try to do arithmetic, and we failed terribly. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
You know, one of the most fun gimmicks over the last, this had to have been within the last year, was when we had our listeners just send us pictures of their pets.
That was fun.
And tell us their names. I loved that so much. We're at 651-989-9393. If you didn't get to us last time, hell, it's Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Why not do it again? If you got a spare minute, send us a text of your dog, your cat, whatever.
And a few people already have. It's put a smile on my face. Yeah, go through. You'll see a few of them.
Yes,
really
I love
like
that. I want all the pictures.
We were talking about how expensive it can be to be a pet owner. This person said they had a dog with epilepsy. They got a credit card just for the vet bills. It averaged between $500 and $800 a month.
A month?
Whoa. That's like a nice car payment.
They'll get you.
I wouldn't be able to do that. That's so scary.
They'll get you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Now, we were talking earlier about what a wonderful day today is. Day one of the Minnesota State Fair. Very exciting. There might be some of you on your way down right now. Have fun. Get plenty to eat. A couple of Steve Weisers. Have a good time. One of the more well-known attractions at the State Fair is the Giant Slide, which is over there somewhere. You've been there many times. You know where it is. You sit on the burlap sack and down you go. When's the last time any of us got up on the Giant Slide there at the State Fair?
Probably like 1985, maybe, 86.
85, 86.
Wow.
Those were a couple of good years there, Cubby.
Yeah. I haven't done it since I was a kid.
Oh, I go every year.
Do you really?
Yeah, I enjoy the slide.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I did
Is that
last
the
year.
only little kid thing you're into? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, all of my hobbies are completely normal for a 37-year-old man.
My wife goes every year. She loves it.
Yeah, Dana, the only reason I went on the slide last year is because I was with a child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the way you should do it. Dana, you're creeping folks out at the Giant Slide.
It's just him, just bouncing up and down. I'm so excited.
Hey, sir, where are your kids? Are they over there somewhere? No kids, just me.
You got to grow up sometime, for Christ's sake.
Do you have an unlimited ride wristband?
Yeah, the last time I did it, I was with one of my brother's kids, and I found it to be very underwhelming. And I questioned why I was so excited about it in the first place when I was a kid.
Yeah, they need to butter that thing up or something.
Oh, hell yes, they do. Oh, we got a Giant Slide story here.
These videos are so great.
Has everyone seen the video footage of kids on a giant slide in Detroit that are just getting spit up into the air by this slide, and they land, and I mean, by God, hard on their asses?
If you haven't seen this video, it's up on 93x.com.
It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for the people that keep going behind them, too. After the first group, I'd be like, nope, not doing that.
Oh, BS. When you were 11, you would have said, I can't wait to go down that effing thing.
Go.
Bigger jumps.
And even as an adult, I might say, okay, not at my age now, but, say I'm 30, I might say, I got to do this.
Yeah, for
I got to
sure.
see if I can live through this.
It is kind of crazy that nobody broke every bone in their body with how hard some of those people were hitting.
Some of the folks, when they got down to the bottom, even though they were just inches away from death, they looked like they were having a great time.
They did.
No one got seriously hurt. There's a metal slide set up in Detroit, kind of like the giant slide we have, very similar to the giant slide we have at the State Fair. It's at a location called Belle Isle, whatever that is. Costs you $1 to ride. You can just show up and go up and down the damn thing. It's been there since 1967. It closed in 2020. And they just reopened the sumbitch with a fresh coat of wax on it. And damn, the kids really get cooking on this freshly waxed track.
Yeah, speaking of cooking, doesn't it look like that's the type of thing on a super hot day you're going to lose some skin on?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. There are 4 big bumps you go over on your way down. Kids and parents were going so damn fast, they'd go sailing off each bump and land hard as hell. So many folks were cracking their tailbones on this effing thing, it had to be shut down for a few hours after it reopened. But the video, if you can swing by 93x.com, you'll get a kick out of it. The videos, I guess, even made it to the Jimmy Kimmel television show. And now a song has been created in tribute to this dangerous giant slide in Detroit. A Detroit rapper named G-Mac Cash posted a track up on the internet called Giant Slide. Officials at the Giant Slide, they scrubbed the surface to slow it down, and now it's open again. Boo! Boo! Come on!
I want to lose a tooth on the Giant Slide.
You guys ever mangled yourself at the fun park?
No. Thankfully, no.
You're running from the Enterprise to the Scrambler and you just eat it? Anything like that? Knocked your head on a roller coaster, banged your
Well, the
head?
old wooden roller coaster at Valley Fair, that used to, bruise me here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would whoop your ass.
Yeah, you're bouncing all over the place.
Oh.
I don't think it's quite the same. The last time I was on it, it's a few years ago, it wasn't nearly as bad, but...
Oh, I was on it a few years ago, too, and I thought it hurt worse than ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I've put on enough weight where I can sit in the seat. But yeah, I remember just bouncing around that thing like crazy. That was part of the fun.
Oh, the corkscrews, the corkscrew at the Valley Fair does that too. Your head bounces around quite a bit because it's so like this way, that way, up and down.
You got to hang on to something. I know I've mentioned this before. I got nothing against the folks at Donnie's Fun Park out there in Wisconsin. What do they call that joint again?
Wisconsin Dells?
Wisconsin Dells. I got nothing against the folks at Wisconsin Dells. I had a good time out there a few years ago. But I went on one of their wood roller coasters, and I'm telling you, I can still feel it today.
It's permanent damage.
The people in Maple Lake didn't tune me up as thoroughly as that wood roller coaster did. It was all my damn. I went straight to bed as soon as it was over.
I remember as a kid at Valley Fair getting wiped out by the wave. You go down it's that big boat, it comes down, and then when you're done, you go on the bridge, and then and everybody told me, and I'd heard about it, and everyone's like, it'll knock you over, and I'm like, I'm a big, strong 10-year-old, I can handle it. I just got smoked.
Dana, you have to hold on.
I know, I did not think I needed to.
I've seen some kids,
I got absolutely blown back against the railing.
I can see that.
You can up and drown at the giant wave. I never was much for the water rides. I'll tell you an interesting fun park ride story from a number of years ago. One of my buddies was at the fun park, Summers, and his, I'd say 9-year-old son was tall enough finally to get on one of these insane rides that most adults even avoid, where you're just upside down, backwards, 100 miles an hour. I don't know what it was, but you know the types, where you just sit in a car and you're tortured for 3.5 minutes. I don't know how anybody would sign up for this, but this kid was finally tall enough to go. And so my buddy and his wife said, go ahead. He sits down in the car, and the ride attendant is making sure everyone's locked in. Okay, you're locked in, testing the belt or whatever they had around their waist. He never went and checked my buddy's son. And my buddy was a little confused. He thought his son was waving at him, like, don't forget to watch me, Dad, on this ride.
Dad, look at this. It's going to be fun.
But what the kid was waving at was like, hey, nobody ever locked me in. And it took my pal a while to like, what are you? Well, yeah, okay, son, I'll see you. Good luck. Have fun on the... Wait a minute. The ride begins to slowly begin. God. And my pal's son, now he's really waving, like when Wapo gives me the signal, And he's like, hey, nobody... And my pal has to race over to the ride attendant and say, he never locked out my son! Or else he would have been chucked to Iowa.
Oh, that's scary.
That is terrifying. Going to Iowa.
You start out with a nice day at the theme park and end up in Iowa.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, Tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Herb Cohen is one of the all-time legendary great sales trainers and negotiators. And he has some advice that will help you negotiate better. Make the other person feel superior and smarter than you. Care, but don't care too much. If you don't like the deal, walk away and see if the deal doesn't get better instantly.
Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
Another day, another horrifying tale of a young pimp being foolish with his dong ski. And not the common, share it with a stranger type of dong foolishness. Here's what happened now. A teenage kid out there in England had to undergo emergency surgery after an attempt to measure his wang resulted in him getting a USB cable lodged in his urethra.
No.
Can you believe that?
Nobody would ever know if that happened to me. Never. I would disappear in a forest somewhere.
Maybe you'd find some witch doctor to take care of it for you, that isn't going to go to the local media. Or would you just try to live with it?
I'd live with it.
Okay.
I don't care which doctor you send me to. I'm not going to the doctor for that. I'm leaving.
This complete disaster reportedly began after an unnamed 15-year-old kid was triggered by sexual curiosity. The experiment backfired when the cable became lodged in the kid's scrotum.
I don't even understand how that can happen.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I don't know the path down there as well as I should.
Does the U in USB stand for urethra? Maybe he knows more than we do.
He's feeding this damn USB cable up his dong. And I'm still not following how this was a form of measurement, but we'll get to that. So the cable gets lodged in his scrotum. They say here in the story, like an electronic catheter. He tried like hell to get it free. But this is un-effing believable. The cord became so tangled that both ends were left hanging out of his hog. How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. I really think I have a small urethra. I was thinking I couldn't get a USB cable up there without even folding it in half. I don't understand how that happens.
We've had this conversation before over our urethra sizes, haven't we, Josh?
We have, yeah.
You are assuming, because I think it takes you so long to take a Wes.
I can go forever, and you're like emptying out a bucket.
Right. You don't think you have much of a...
Me and Hank Hill.
You and Hank Hill?
I have narrow urethras.
Where my urethra, we assume, is like the opening to the end of a Gatorade bottle or something.
Like I could power wash a driveway, I think.
Mm-hmm. But how about that? He's feeding this cable in. Eventually, the front end came back out.
It's disgusting.
His family took him to the hospital.
Oh, God, he had to tell his family?
Well, he did.
I think upon thinking about it, there's a level of desperation you get to where the embarrassment probably goes away.
Yeah, and at that level, it sounds like when reading the story, that level where he crossed over to the point of no return was when he started urinating blood.
You guys ever done that?
No, I have not. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that as well.
What happened, Smashley?
I don't know, just like bladder infection.
Oh, no.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Too many bubble baths.
Really? That can happen? That's how that happens?
It's not that I used to have bladder infections and like UTIs a lot when I was a kid, and my mom said it was because The doctor said it was because of bubble baths. So I had to stop using those.
You're sitting on the dirty bathtub?
Yeah. And all the bubbles aren't good for, that area.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I hadn't heard that before either.
Yeah, keep bubbles out of that area, apparently.
Yeah.
Soap. You're saying soap is not good for that area?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I know I've had some run-ins with soap down there.
Oh, so stingy.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the worst. Oh, that
You know
hurts.
what? It's maybe as a father, I should warn. Well, one's too old. He's probably figured that out. I should warn the young one about that.
Boy, I wish somebody would have told me.
Yeah. I mean, the first time you think, I've done it now. Oh, I'm done.
Oh, the first
I'm
time?
a goner.
I thought I was a dead man.
And then, it's happened as an adult once, and then I'm just frustrated with myself because I know better.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You look down and say, for God's sake, I've done this again. That hurts.
See, I've peed blood twice.
You have peed blood twice. Once was when you had a terrible UTI.
The second was for a contest. I won a camera and a thermos.
You did?
Yeah.
It was a gross out contest?
Pretty much. No, yeah, both of them were for a bladder infection. The second one went to my kidneys, and boy, is that painful. Owie.
That's terrible. I had a little blood show up in the money shot.
Oh,
That's
dude,
not good.
okay, I would rather pee blood twice a week than ever have that happen once.
Scared me.
Making a little mayo chup there.
You dirty son of a...
God damn it.
It scared me.
I'd be terrified.
I made a phone call.
You should.
I called the Red Door hotline. Some kind of sexual, what do you call it?
Red Door Clinic?
Some kind of STD hotline. Has anyone ever called the STD hotline?
No, I've been there a few times, but I didn't know they had a hotline.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I don't like to leave the house, so that's convenient.
I wish I could tell you who gave me the STD hotline, but I got a hold of it. Was a young lady that answered the phone, and I was how should I say this? I mean, nervous about even bringing it up to a stranger. Well, I was just nervous to bring it up to anybody. I would rather be on the phone with a stranger than tell a friend, because a friend will laugh at you. This lady was paid to help people, so that I was fine with talking about it to her. I just didn't want to bring it up because I was fearful. I thought for sure she'd say, well, you have penis cancer.
Right? That's what I'd be afraid of.
Definitely.
But I've heard so many stories like this from so many different guys that I don't think I'd still, of course, be terrified.
Yeah.
But not as bad had I not heard so many say, yeah, it just kind of happens sometimes, you're good.
Okay, at that point in my life, I hadn't heard any of those stories before.
That'd be freaky.
I thought I was the only dong on earth that was launching, a little bit of both. And so I explained to her, I said I had a sexual encounter recently, and some blood ended up all up in there. And she said, oh, yeah, that's nothing to be alarmed with. She said, if it happens repeatedly, go see your doctor. But if it's only once or twice, odds are you have an irritation or some kind of an infection, and it's completely harmless.
Were you terrified the next time?
I certainly had my eyes and some others on it to look closely.
You watched the instant replay on the camera?
Yeah. I certainly brought it up before the party started. I said, now, if there's a little bit of red in there, don't panic. All right, so this kid, he's got the USB cord up in his urethra. It's tangled up this way and that way. He can't get it out. He goes to the hospital. The first hospital his folks took him to, they couldn't free the cable. He had to get in another ambulance and go to a different hospital to see if they could haul this damn cable cord out of there. X-rays revealed that the kid had basically tied a knot with USB cable inside himself.
Ah, man. That's got to be a nightmare having a kid that curious.
Well, you just wonder what's next,
they always say curiosity's good. Real smart people, they're curious, but just maybe that's too curious.
Yeah, you start covering up all the light sockets,
Yeah, like what's next for this kid?
For fear that he's going to try to hump but they had to make an incision. You want to know where they made the incision?
Not really.
You don't want to know, or you do or you don't want to know where they made it?
I'd like to know.
I feel like we need to know at this point.
Taint!
I'm struggling to figure out the logistics of this all.
Do we need to?
I'm curious about why there.
That was just for a laugh.
These guys and girls are doctors. They knew the best spot to.
He's got a USB hub in there.
Yeah. They cut open the taint, and they were able to, with a team of surgeons in kind of a tug-of-war pose, they were able to get it out of there. He recovered, the boy recovered, but he does have to go get checkups and require future monitoring. Yeah, you can't run 30 feet of cable wire through your penis and balls and probably not have a few checkups. And that's the doctors are thinking, okay, you're the only guy who's ever done this. We're going to have to look down there every month or so.
The USB cable kid.
Yeah.
Hey, my keyboard's not working. Can you plug your penis into the back of that and run the other end of the computer?
And all of this started, at least the story is, all of this started because he supposedly wanted to measure the poor thing. Parents, always keep a good old-fashioned ruler in the house if you have young dudes living there.
And teach them how to do it correctly, the Adam Carolla way, where you go from your beehole to an inch past your penis.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how to measure a penis.
Let's see here, 17 and a half, okay. Keep a ruler in the house. Hopefully you'll be able to avoid catastrophes like this one. This kid is lucky he's ever able to use that damn thing again. He can't be rolling cable through there. I'll be damned.
Few people have checked in I was going to say our sponsor. Maybe they don't want to be a part of this. Our text line to say they've had that same issue you had, Nick, and same thing, panic and heard, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. It was quite a relief. I've been very lucky in my life for a lot of reasons, but specifically with the old special purpose. I've had a couple incidents where I thought, it's dead. It's never going to work again after what I've put it through. I'm dead, because of what I've caught. I've had a couple really standout false alarms. I just wonder when my luck's going to run out, that's all.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
There's a company up there in Canada. They're called the Green Organic Dutchman. And they'll be hosting a 420 hotline today. The CEO of the Green Organic Dutchman, his name is Sean Bovingdon. He said the line has been put together to answer questions and help out folks who need guidance when consuming cannabis. Here's what he says. Whether someone is a cannabis regular or hasn't touched the plant in many decades, we owe it to curious individuals anywhere to support them and to ensure that they have the celebration they're looking for on this 420. Well, he doesn't sound like a pothead. Kind of sounds like a nerd. Here's more from the guy. Despite legalization, the educational resources for cannabis are restricted from most mainstream media, so we're excited to offer this free educational service for consumers everywhere. Would you buy pot from this guy?
No.
Or would you hear him talk and you turn to your buddy and go, dude, this guy's a nerd. I bet his weed totally sucks, bro.
Well, there are those, people who are so, super smart pot smokers, you know what I mean? They are outside of the stereotype, where they're just wicked smart.
Yeah, they really understand the science behind it all.
Yeah, and go ahead, Bob.
I would totally get weed from this dude.
Just
For
like,
sure.
Cubby, you're saying just like those beer dorks.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, some folks that maybe, they just are super into it, the science, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Oh, they know how to cross strands. Yeah.
Well, you even get into that sometimes, Wapple. You were explaining the difference.
Yep.
Well, here's the VP of Marketing for the Green Organic Dutchman. His name is Drew Campbell. Here's what he says. He also kind of comes off like a dork. He says, from the evolution of the counterculture movement to the growing legalization of cannabis around the world, the spirit of 420 has always been to celebrate cannabis with others, and we can help to ensure everyone has access to the information. What's happening here?
That sounds nice, I guess.
Oh, man.
For a dork like me who has very little experience smoking weed, I'd actually like to call this number and be able to ask dumb questions anonymously. me, that I'd be afraid to ask my buddies or something.
All right, I'm ready to go. Which end do I like?
I'd have a lot of questions. I mean, thank God for you guys, because, I would have assumed edibles were, they a lot less potent than smoking a joint or a bong or something like that.
No, I've seen people get messed up on those.
It really does depend on what kind of edible you're having and how you react to them, because edibles do nothing to me.
Oh, really? Yeah. I always thought if you're gonna have a gummy bear, if you're somebody who's not you're not a regular user, you have to have just the arm. You can't eat much more than that.
Yeah, if you're not a regular user, it gets a little sketch.
And I feel like the fatal mistake everybody always makes, a story you always hear, is somebody who's like, well, these aren't doing anything. I'm going to eat some more. But they just weren't patient enough, and then all of a sudden it all just kicks in at once.
Yeah, it's 30 minutes to kick in.
Yeah. And they're like, well, this is boring. Nothing's happening. So they gobble down a few more gummy bears, and before you know it, they're curled up in a ball in the bathroom.
Yeah, then boom, and it just hits you out of nowhere.
It all depends on who you are, maybe your experience, your tolerance. I know some people who eat half an edible and they're completely out of their gourd for 3-4 hours. Others, sprinkle them on their bologna sandwich for lunch and move on with their day like nothing's happening.
This person says, I got the best bud from nerdy white boys. I bet, yeah, probably because they're just into all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the boys over there from the Green Organic Dutchman, they liken this service. Remember, it's like a hotline you can call. They liken it to that of the annual turkey hotlines. Turkey hotlines is what I meant to say, that are offered to folks around Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
The Butterball line.
Mm-hmm.
The number, 1-833-4-HIGHLY. The number 4, HIGHLY. 1-833-4-HIGHLY. It's free for anyone who is of legal age. What does that mean?
What is it?
Well, is it legal all throughout Canada?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe you have to be 21?
Yeah, I'm guessing you do.
Yeah, my buddy in Canada, in Toronto, he just has it delivered to his door once a week.
That's so cool.
Dude, you can do that in L.A. It's called, Weed Maps, and you can get it delivered. You can have anything delivered. It's sweet.
Well, what's Rub Maps?
That's
different?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to dial up Rub Maps.
Where's it? Tug Naps? I couldn't. Maps, excuse me.
A tug nap sounds kind of nice.
That's usually the order, right?
Their weed looks super good on this website.
Does it look good?
Okay, I'd have to call the hotline and say, my coworker just said the weed looks super good. What does that mean? Honestly, what makes you say that?
There's a lot of red hairs on it. That's how you know that's the THC. It kind of looks like it was dipped in sugar too. That's really good.
Man,
so
red
it's
hairs.
Crystallized.
If red hairs mean THC, then my buddy Big Al is just one big walking wad of THC. Somebody smoke Big Al.
I think I could do a weed hotline.
You do?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a day where people just call in with their weed questions and Wapple answers.
Get ready for a like-nado when Wapple is answering the weed hotline. So, well, let me try. Hey, is this Wapple's weed hotline?
Wapple's weed hotline.
Why would you say that after I already... Okay.
You're supposed to say, yes, it is.
Sure.
I've got this joint stick, and I want to smoke it. What do I do?
Well, you see the cardboard on one end? You put that in your mouth, grab a lighter, flick the bic, and smoke it.
Okay, I've got another question. Are you a Muppet?
Am I a man or am I a Muppet?
So how long do you got to hold it in there?
I mean, you don't have to really... Everyone always says that you have to hold it in for a really long time until you can't breathe.
That's what they do in the movies.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh.
You don't have to do that.
What happens if I cough a lot? Does that mean I'm just a noob?
That means it's working.
Now, when you call this hotline, there will be industry experts on the other end of the line. And maybe you've heard of these people. Andrew Friedman.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I have Andrew Friedman's trading card, actually.
He's also known as the cannabis sommelier. I have no idea what sommelier means.
Isn't that like a wine expert that comes over at a super fancy restaurant?
Yeah, they can answer all your wine questions.
Yeah, they help you pair your food to your wine.
And also somebody who goes by the name of Kelsey Cannabis.
I wonder what she's into.
Probably not their real last name. The hotline will be available this morning at 8 o'clock until 8 p.m. Hello, can I speak to a weed dork?
Dude, I can't feel my hands, brah.
Reminds me of the teen chat lines when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Those were a bad idea.
Weird. So weird.
I jumped on the teen chat line once or twice when I was 12 years old, and I thought it was disgusting. And remember, I was 12 years old, and still I thought, what the hell is going on here? The things that the boys were saying to the girls on the teen chat line, even when I was 12, I thought, this is wrong. Well, of course, what the boys were saying to the two girls that had the courage, it was, when you got on the teen chat line in 1983, it was 167 boys and 2 girls.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.